Hello, Sea Life Gardening. It is one of my favorite times of the season today. It's garlic scape harvesting season. Let's get right to it. So these are the flowers of the plant. And if you leave them on, you're going to get garlic seed. And they're biennial plants, so technically this is basically garlic in its second year because you've planted the clove that you grew from last year or that you ordered as seed garlic. It came as a whole head, and that head was grown last year, but it was saved to be replanted that same fall. And so that's why it's like a second year plant, and it is finishing its life cycle out. It's trying to go ahead and make its next generation, but it doesn't need to do that. We're going to save some of the bigger ones and replant it out anyway. So we're just going to come in here, and in order to get a bigger bulb, we're going to remove them. And you want to remove them, I don't know if you see how I did that. I went as low as I could without taking out any of the other leaves. And I do that because I've found that if you go all the way up and include this part right here where the actual flower is, or beyond it, this really narrow bit at the end here, it's just really fibrous and not like the rest of it, just because it's so narrow, I believe, is what makes it like that. So I kind of just trim the ends a little bit. You can kind of use right at that flower part, but pretty much beyond that, it's going to start to be a little bit too fibrous, especially when it gets very narrow at the tip. Like all that, I'm definitely going to remove pretty much all the way down to maybe where it gets thicker right around the flower head, and just see how that looks when I cut that up, and maybe not even use it, because I'm going to have a lot of these. I have a lot of garlic plants growing, so it's best to not accidentally have something bite into your teeth back if you can avoid it, because this is something that's supposed to be a gardener's treat, garlic grower's dream. And for somebody that knows a garlic grower, it is a happy day in June, a nice surprise, and a lovely day in June for a friend of a gardener. And I've got this one stuck in this head. I only have a few over here, but this one's looking like a good example. Let me walk over here and show you one of the good ways to know, especially if it's your first time growing garlic or hardneck varieties, because hardnecks are the ones that give you these. Basically, if a softneck gives you a scape, it's because you either misidentified it or it reverted back through a mutation to its hardneck ancestry. And as a simple, short layman's explanation from somebody who mostly understands it, but yeah, and before I cut it, oops, I've already made, you can see a water droplet where I've actually cut it. It's already bleeding, but it's looped around in a whole loop. Once it's like that, you can go ahead. It's time to go ahead and make the plant redirect its energy towards the bulb. So, and sometimes I'll take them even before it's fully looped. If it just looks like an insanely large scape and it's just mostly looped around, kind of like this one here. Especially if it's a really, really big one and it's like that and not quite fully looping, I'll usually go ahead and take them. Like in this one too here, I'll probably go ahead and take, even though it's kind of a big U and not really, frog in the throat, and not really a U or a teardrop shape fully looped around, I might go ahead and take that one too. And as for a way to kind of keep them organized as you go, I like to just kind of hold them, and since they're almost all of them looped anyway, it just winds up being convenient. And this guy, let's go ahead and get this guy too. Why not? I think that's nearly all for this patch. Here's another one. Let's see. I think there may have been another one too. Like this guy right here. That might be an early scape and not just a new leaf. There's a few more like that definitely are way early if they are scapes. So we're not going to get those. We'll let those start to develop, because shoot, at this point, I'm not sure if it's not just a next set of a leaf on a soft note at this point, just because I don't remember exactly what I planted. But gosh, there's so many mushrooms down here. I'm just noticing. But I'm gonna go ahead and two-hand this, and I'll be right back to show you what we get. Okay, I'm unpausing just a little bit early. We did have a garden friend on here. I'm not sure where he went, but I just wanted to show. Sometimes garlic will do some weird stuff to itself. Like, it has grown a scape and a leaf completely through this other plant's leaf. Let me try and not get these other scapes in this hand that I'm going to move the camera to on the way over this branch. Alright. So, like, yeah, this just ain't even attached anymore. That's like a fallen branch. And actually, it wasn't even a scape. It was just this whole leaf here that was fooling me into thinking it was a scape. But anyway, yeah, so like a leaf pierced another leaf that, or well, it may have even grown to where it pulled it off of the other plant, and that's why it wasn't attached anymore. You find some crazy stuff sometimes. And this garlic isn't squeezed too close, really. I put all of it about 4 inches between the cloves, and that's generally what you aim for. I'm gonna get back to it. I've only done a little bit so far before I saw that, but yeah, I'm gonna show you what I get when I get through with it, and whether or not I have left any scapes behind. Okay, so I have continued a little bit, and it's already kind of getting difficult to hold on to all of them and grab a new one to hold on to so it doesn't fall in the jungle when I cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw these in a bag and start a new handful. I really only, like, even right here, there's scapes still. Like, I've barely made a dent and started coming down this side. It's like just a L I've done right here, basically. I'm just already full. This is going to be a good season for the scapes. That's for sure. And there's that handful in the bag. We'll keep working. And second handful going in the bag. Second handful going in the bag. And I still haven't even really moved where my feet are whatsoever to harvest from a different spot. I'm just reaching in. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, second handful in the bag. Pretty full bag already. Keep going. Like I was saying, I haven't moved my feet really whatsoever. And yeah, so far I've basically got this little part and up into here some, more to this side a little bit, but not basically here, these, and here. We've got basically the whole bed left to go still. I'm excited. I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to come to this side where we have some radish flowers. So those are basically going to be woody as a radish and a little bit extra too peppery as a green. So pretty much they're ornamental or for seed saving now, but I'm probably going to remove a lot of them. I already have dug up quite a few about a week or two ago, trying to see if I had sizable radishes, and I don't think I did, just because of how dry it was when these were growing up. I think I might have better luck with these that really only sprung up about 4 or 5 days after we tilled the garden. These have been grown on their own pretty much since February. These pretty much April. So yeah, about a 2-month difference on the radish here. And this is probably about a month past when I would have ideally harvested it, had they been bigger. And I had a bunch of them and more spaced out. These were a little too tight anyway here. These, where I'm pretty sure it just kind of naturally spread when we tilled, are just kind of better spaced out anyway. And they're kind of all over, even in the beans, and I've just left them. I don't mind them. Hopefully I'll get a radish out of them, and if not, hopefully I'll get to the greens before I see a flower bud. I will say, as you start harvesting scapes, especially if you have more of a patch than me, a lot of people will have like this whole, like all the way down past that bed, plus all to me, plus 8 rows of those of garlic growing. And I couldn't imagine trying to get all those scapes at once, because I get dizzy out here in a bed like this. So trying to look through all these similarly looking, especially when they get curled around and stuff, or looped or bent in certain ways, you'll be like, oh, that's a skinny scape, and go to get it, oh no, that's a leaf, and you just start to be dizzy. But I'm gonna get over that and maybe spin in a circle in the opposite direction, or I don't know, stop looking at the garlic for a second, then return to it, and finish up and bring it back in with me for the end of the video. And as I put another handful in the bag, another thing to mention about these scapes is that it seems, in my experience, that they have a really long shelf life if you just keep them in a bag in the crisper in the fridge. Maybe not all season or anything, but definitely for a month or so. You can just keep them in your fridge and use them, or you can go ahead and cut them to size and portion them out and freeze them if you want to keep them for a long time. I'm sure that would probably work, but that might affect their texture some, like it does with, say, squash. It kind of turns squash mushy when you do that, but if you're going to make soup with it, who cares, kind of thing, is what I feel like. If I freeze any squash this year, I think I might try and do that and make some yellow squash soup, but I'm going to keep harvesting here and get some more handfuls. We're about to the halfway point. I'll be right back with you. I'm just going just to that leaf and cut it. And then switch hands real quick. And so I'm grabbing it about here. Go ahead and put the camera in that hand and try and get the base where I'm about to cut it. Oh, don't get that leaf. And just, you just do that over and over again. Get really dizzy looking through this green foliage. Grab one, find its base here, snip over and over. And I did want to show this off too. I'm not sure what happened here. I did already remove the scape from it, but I thought this one was the scape. Get it in shot here without the other leaves in front. Oh my goodness. This one here has done something weird. It's like this was going to be a scape, or it like also split along its stem here, but it's like that was going to be its scape, but then it decided to make that its leaf here that goes on out to here. But it did have a scape right here at, if I can get it in frame, this little node here. It did have a scape. I removed it, but yeah, that's just crazy looking to me. And I've grown garlic for years. I've not seen a plant do that. I'm not sure what that is. If any much more versed than me garlic growers or just botany people in general have any idea. And like here, I think I'm finding another one that kind of looks similar. Yeah, what is going on with that? It's like this was escape, but it changed its mind right here. It was like, never mind, I'm not going to flower. And then it was like, I'm going to grow a longer stalk. And there's a bug in there. Hello, bug. What are you eating my... Is that why it happened? Are you eating my garlic? I'm not sure if I still want to remove that and can use it as escape. Because those are just normal leaves. Guys, help me out here. I mean, what's one small head of garlic, I guess. But if I do leave it, if it's the only one I leave. But I'm just not exactly sure. I'm used to them just looping once and being a normal scape, not looking like a normal scape loop, and then quitting being a scape and continuing being a stem for 2.5 feet, and then being 2 leaves. What in the world with no scape in it when it's scape time? Is it because the garden's so shady? That could maybe perhaps be having an effect, but they're all in the same amount of sun, so maybe it's, this one does seem to be very much in the middle. I'm in a conundrum here. maybe it's shaded out by all its brethren garlic, and the shade amount that there is compiling, and so it's like I'm really in the shade. Never mind flowering, just live another year. I'm not exactly sure, guys. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay, and I think I almost accidentally stopped the video right there with the way I picked up the phone. Almost pressed the screen lock button, but anyway. Our bag is really full, and we're most of the way done. We definitely still have some more work cut out for us. I'm trying to think of things educational, I can say, during my little breaks where I'm harvesting garlic, and finding some weird little things like, pretty sure, actually no, this is just some weed, never mind. I was going to say, why does this garlic look so weird? It's not garlic. But yeah, I just wanted to show some of the mushrooms that are in here, just because there's so many. It's a sign of healthy soil. I'm not concerned about it. Being any fungal issue with any of the bulbs. I think it's just simultaneously the mycelium in the soil is deciding to fruit right now. I don't think it's any issue with the garlic. And come about a month from now, I guess I'll figure out for sure if I was right about that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just kind of how it goes. With healthy soil, you will have some fungus occur sometimes. Just definitely, it's a sign of soil life at the very least. I've definitely had mushrooms in my garlic patch before, and it's never been a problem, so I'm definitely not worried. I'm not sure that they were this kind for sure. It does look familiar, actually, as far as the color anyway, but I'm definitely not a mycologist. I kind of wish I was. I am very interested in them, but I just don't know a whole lot, or especially with identification. So, I'm not sure if these are the same exact ones, but they do definitely look similar to what I remember in the past. But yeah, I'm going to keep going. A little tiny batch. Little mushroomies. But yeah, I'll be back in a moment. And this, I'll say, will be interesting. I feel like is a sign of some separation here. And as is this. This bed isn't that old, but the wood is. And I'm pretty sure this side was already bowed out that direction anyway. Had the board go the other direction, and maybe I can unscrew this side and flip it and screw it back in and have it not separate anymore, and just kind of fill in any bare spots on the edges here. Like right now it might even, I kind of don't want to disturb those mushrooms over there, just to kind of fill in the hole. But yeah, I'll be right back after I do some more work, you guys, and show you the full bag. So, this here is the last little guy. I probably could have left it on a little bit because most of this is the tip I don't want to use. And it's not really going to give me a whole lot, but I just figured, I don't think I've missed any, but it seems like in years past to my recollection, I always think I have them all. And then I'll come back out a few days later and see like 20. And I'm just like, where were you guys hiding? And it's, I think, just a symptom of just looking at this. If you just keep looking at this, and it just looks like a blur of green, right, everybody? So, yeah, it kind of starts just getting lost. So maybe I did miss a few. Sorry if that motion sickness to anybody, but that's kind of how it is, and I feel like that's why it dizzies you up in a sense if you stare too long. But we've got a very full grocery bag, and just since it's a long one anyway, I just figured I'd tag you along and show you everything. I'm planting 2 squash over there. I believe you guys might have seen it. I'll probably walk back around that way. But I have some potato plants that are just volunteers here that fell right in line with where I put my hills of potatoes anyway. And we already have some plant growth showing up. These are the potatoes sprouting. I'm so happy about that. These right here do not, that's a weed. That's also a weed. This is the potato coming up. So that one has some coming up too. That one does too on the edge there, the far edge I can see. And I think I see some in that hill too. So we've got potatoes in all the hills. We've got more watermelon plants to plant out if we want, but we're kind of starting to run out of space. and some cantaloupe that I feel like I would rather squeeze in. Cantaloupe more than just more of the same watermelon. But I'm kind of, unless, I do have some garlic that I forgot was in that round spot, that all three of those were goji berries. I'm not sure if they're going to decide to finally put out some leaves in June and July. Now that it's been wet for them, I've been watching them, and some of them, in some spots, I can't even tell. Pretty sure it's this one, that I can't even tell where in all these weeds that I've let kind of take over. It should have been in the middle here, that there should have been a goji berry bush, even if it was just a woody stem, like in the one over there in the middle next to these squash, which since I'm over here, it should be like this in that one too, but I'm really not seeing it anywhere. Goji berry bush. So I'm thinking might just carefully start removing all these weeds tomorrow and clean up a little area like that and tidy out the weeds and then add some soil like I did there and put the cantaloupe here maybe. But this is directly under the canopy of this apple tree really, so I almost might rather do it in that spot. But that spot I have to be careful with the weeds because I have garlic that I've planted there, I think from the little bulbs that will form on soft necks. It's like you have your garlic bulb, and hey, I already see escape I missed. But you will have the bulb, and then it will have a tiny little nugget on its side, and that's like a bulb you can pull. And soft necks will also develop those like right above the bulb, like on the neck, and then further up the stem as well. It'll just look like your stem split open, but if you look in there, it's a little miniature garlic head that if you plant, you'll get a free one next year. It may be a small head, but it'll be a head of garlic, you know? Call it one of your culinary ones. But anyway, yeah, corn, and then we've got the beans, and the onions are doing really good. 6 new raspberry plants, 6 new blackberry plants. I did this the other day in the video, and I just failed to mention everything. The watermelon that we have here, cantaloupe to plant out, all that I said. The squash here that are loving their new home already. And we also have 2 grapevines over here in this garlic patch, and 2 red gooseberries there, and we also have 2 new white currants over by the house, and I've got over in this corner 7. Let me walk down real fast. Okay, different spot on the property, and got 7 spots for them, and so far 4 planted out because I bought 4 dormant ones that really needed planted out soon, but I have 3 in pots that definitely it's urgent, but they're going to live in their pots. The weather's nice, they're not going to freeze, but I do need to get them out of their pots and into these, but it was less urgent than these, but I do need to catch up and get those planted out. But yeah, 7 new blueberry plants. I've got miner's lettuce on the seed table I need to plant out. I've got a ton of calendula flowers that I could put pretty much anywhere, that I could come up with a spot for them. And I also have basil going. Quite a bit of dark opal basil made it. About 20 some plants. Didn't have a lot not make it because I didn't keep up with watering. Happy gardening, everybody. Have a good evening. And let me know what you're gardening in the comments if you made it this far into the video. And feel free to check out the community section. I'm pretty sure you guys can post there too. I have some stuff hanging out in there, and I might start posting in there again more often. But happy gardening. Have a good one.